Hey everybody, this is Brian. I'm here with my review of issue 219, as you can see, of Sonic the Hedgehog. Sorry for the shaking there. And if I move it a little bit, yeah, that didn't work. You're looking at the doorknob. Again, sorry for the shaking, but this is my review of 219, and I have to say it's a good issue. Now, I don't have the issue physically. I don't have the issue, and again, I apologize for any bouncing or anything. But again, I don't have the issue like I normally would. I haven't gotten it yet. I'll probably get it this weekend, maybe Monday. I don't know. But overall, I have to say this was a very interesting issue. I mean, yeah, I read the spoilers on it, and I have to say that I'm not really that surprised that Jeffrey would be the traitor. When you think about it, Jeffrey's loyalties do, lie with the kingdom and the king, but his loyalties lie with King Max. So, my only thought is, the reason he betrayed Sonic was because he feels probably the same way that Max does. And that is, Eliza's, right now, the current king, shouldn't be king. And that Eliza's should give up the throne and everything back to his father. And basically also the fact that maybe just like King Max, Jeffrey doesn't like the idea of a royal council, basically having the people just make the overall decisions. I could be wrong, but I could be wrong. I mean, maybe Jeffrey does like the council and everything, but his loyalties, like I say, lie with King Max and not King Eliza's. You got to remember, when Eliza's came in, he basically reclaimed his birthright to the throne. Now, I don't know if they'll throw some kind of loophole in there in the next issue, and that says that Eliza didn't have the right to do that. I don't know. So, but overall, it was very interesting. Mina or Mina, depending on how you pronounce her name, she really, she didn't really play much of a role, but we did get to see the after effects of the whole Iron Dominion deal, and how they've affected some of the people, some of the characters. And Mina, whatever you want to call her, has become one of the most affected. Basically, she's having these reoccurring nightmares. This reoccurring nightmare of Nicole basically losing control again, and everything going back to the way it was when the Iron Dominion had control. So, basically, Mina, whatever you want to call her, she talks it out with Ash, talks it out with her boyfriend Ash, and basically talks about it as they had done before, apparently. So she talks it out, and she's just afraid Nicole's going to lose control again. She admits she wants to believe in Nicole. She wants to believe Nicole's back to normal, everything's okay, but she's afraid Nicole's going to lose it again. And she also goes on to mention that the freedom fighters, don't even notice the dangers possibly within. That they can go off for a while and then come back, save the day, and everything goes back to normal. Everything becomes perfect again. To her, the freedom fighters don't have their eyes open to realize that you may have dangers on the outside, but you also have dangers on the inside, and you have to realize that. You have to come to terms with that. So, and this gives Ash an idea, because Mina had been obviously talking about spicing up her music, thinking of producing and making something new out of it, giving it more of an edge. So apparently what happens is apparently the idea he gets is to write music that has a message in it. Basically that message, I guess we'll find out what that message is going to be in the next 2 issues. But apparently that's what this whole thing with Mina and Mina, or Mina, depending on what you call her, apparently that's why she had these recurring nightmares, because she's afraid and that Nicole's going to lose control again, and she's also afraid that the freedom fighters don't realize that there is dangers not just on the outside but on the inside. So, that was an interesting aspect, and quite honestly, I think what they're trying to do with Ash and Mina, this may sound stupid, but I think they're trying to turn them into the John Lennon and Yoko Ono of the Sonic comic book. Just saying. But anyway, while this is happening, Jeffrey and Sonic go to the special zone. Nicole fires up the star post, brings them online, and Jeffrey and Sonic go to the special zone. One of the interesting aspects about this whole exchange before they went in there was, Sonic talking about Hershey, asking him how Hershey is doing, and we get this look on Jeffrey's face like, he doesn't really want to talk about it, but then tells him, oh, she's deep undercover and I won't be seeing her for a while. So apparently that kind of answers the question that because Ken Penders owns the Hershey character, until something is settled, we won't be seeing her in the comics for quite some time. Anyway, they go to the special zone. Feist at first doesn't recognize them. He doesn't recognize them. He kind of brings out his arm and just picks them up on this big old ball or whatever, this kind of world-like spear. And Sonic finally has to say, hey, whoa, Fest, it's me. I thought we were cool. It's me. And, Fest does recognize him. And finally, Fest does recognize him, and also realizes that Sonic is there for another Chaos Emerald along with Jeffrey. And that the only way they can get it is just like last time, and that is to play one of Fest's games. But then here comes the interesting aspect about it. Fest mentions others that have defied him. Now we don't know who those others are. Even Sonic asks what other people may know about this place. So I got a feeling that's going to tie in the next few issues leading to 225. So anyway, Feist basically has them play this game, but it's a game that Jeffrey suggests. Now earlier in the comic, Sonic was running in the rain, and he was asking what part of Jeffrey's plan involves him getting soaking wet. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me for a second. I apologize for the shaking. Just taking my time. Okay, got enough. But he asks what part of Jeffrey's plan involves him getting soaking wet. Well, apparently we find out while they're in the special zone what that plan is. Basically, Jeffrey suggests some kind of a race between him and Sonic. So Feist agrees to it, and the race is on. Basically, it's a race, and where they dodge these little obstacles, these little like mines or something like that. But Sonic's the only one that goes running. He's the only one that takes off as the race begins. Jeffrey just stands there behind. Just stands, stands where he is. Just stays behind. And then you see the expression on his face kind of change, and then he brings out this dart. Obviously it's an electric dart that he gets ready. He puts on his catapult gun or whatever it is, his wrist gun if you will, and as soon as Sonic grabs the Chaos Emerald and comes back, he looks at Jeffrey like, man, you didn't even try. He's like, man, Jeffrey, you didn't even try. And that's when Jeffrey hits him with this, I guess, electric dart, and basically he tells Sonic he didn't have to try. And after hitting him with this electric dart, he grabs the emerald and leaves, and this delights Feist, and Feist is actually delighted by this treachery or this turn of events. Now, Jeffrey leaves the special zone. Nicole is asking him where's Sonic, and he goes from Freedom Fighter headquarters to Casinolopolis. And he basically confronts Mogul. Mogul's thinking at first that he has a Chaos Emerald, but is not sure if they have any. Basically, he goes and he confronts Mogul, and Mogul looks at the Chaos Emerald and tells him they don't have enough chips for it. basically Jeffrey tells Mogul that he's here. Well, basically Mogul notices Jeffrey with the Chaos Emerald. At first says they don't have enough chips for it, or may not have enough chips. Jeffrey says, I'm not here to bargain. Now Mogul, this is kind of a surprise, says he's sort of retired. Says he's retired from his daily antagonizing and whatever he's done in the past. But Jeffrey said, but here's the thing. Jeffrey says, I'm not here for you. This Chaos Emerald's not for you. You have the one last thing that I need to complete my mission. And then when Mogul asks what that mission is, Jeffrey tells him it's to restore the true king to the throne, and we see Nagus, being foreshadowed. Now, some people may say, being foreshadowed. Now, some people may say that Nagus is going to be the king that he's talking about, but I don't think so. And I'll explain that in a little bit. Let me check my time again. Okay. Overall, I didn't read the side story yet, but I just read the main story because that's more interesting. And I have to say that the main story, In Service of the King, like I said, was very interesting, very intriguing, and we'll just have to see what happens next issue. But overall, I think I see what's going on. It's like I said at the beginning. It's like I've said. Well, it's like I'm going to say. I believe. Well, it's like I've said before. I believe Jeffrey's loyalties lie with King Max and not King Eliza's, and that the reason he betrayed Sonic wasn't because he's betraying the kingdom, isn't because he's betraying the Secret Service. It's because he needed the Chaos Emerald to take with him to go to Casinopolis, get Nagus, and thus by using both try to restore King Max to the throne. That's right. That is right. This whole thing apparently was a plan by King Max and Jeffrey. Obviously Max knew what was needed to get him back. Basically King Max knows obviously what is needed to get him back into power. And the reason I believe this is happening, and let me check my time again. Okay, and like I said, the reason I think this is happening is because, as we've noticed, and you can look at the end of 179 about this. You can look at the second to last page of 179, issue 179, and it will tell you the whole story. Basically, King Max is not happy with this whole council, this whole royal council. Basically, this whole giving the power to the people to make the decisions. So apparently the plan is to get King Max back into power so that not only can he get rid of this council, but get things back to the way they were. And obviously there may be some kind of situation where there's a loophole, and there might be also some kind of situation at next issue where they probably confront Elias and say, hey, look, you gave up the throne, you had no right to get it back. I don't know if that might be it or not, but overall I have to say 219 was a pretty good issue. Again, physically I don't have the issue, but I do have the issue courtesy of YouTube, and YouTube uses Sonic Comic World, and I have to say overall it's a very intriguing, very interesting issue, and we'll just have to see what happens next in 212. So that's all I'm going to say. I give it a 8 out of 10, and I thank you all for watching, and take care.